Hey guys, tonight we're stepping into the gritty, noisy, and frankly unhinged streets of ancient Rome, where one wrong move could land you in a chariot-esque path or a pickpocket-esque grasp. Picture yourself stumbling out of a time machine, your sandals slipping on uneven cobblestones, the air thick with the smell of sweat, bread, and something you'd rather not identify. This isn't the Rome of marble statues and epic poems. It's a chaotic mess where you, my friend, probably wouldn't last a day. Between dodging carts, navigating crowds, and avoiding shady characters, you're in for a wild ride. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Oh, and drop a comment below with your city and what time it is where you are. I love knowing who's joining me in this Roman chaos. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let us ease into tonight's journey together. You're standing in the heart of Rome, around 100 CE in the Subura, one of the city's most crowded neighborhoods. The sun is high, baking the uneven streets, and the noise hits you like a wave. Vendors shouting, donkeys braying, a distant clang of metal from a blacksmith's shop. You look around, your tunic already sticking to your skin, and see a jumble of mud brick tenements leaning precariously over narrow alleys. People are everywhere, toga-clad men arguing, women balancing baskets of figs, kids darting through the crowd. You take a step and splat, your sandal lands in something squishy. You don't look down, but you're pretty sure Rome's streets double as an open sewer. Welcome to the urban jungle where survival is a full-time job. You start walking, trying to find your bearings, but the streets are a maze. No signs, no maps, just twisting alleys barely wide enough for two people to pass. You dodge a cart piled with amphorae, its driver cursing in Latin as a wheel wobbles over a stone. You're starting to get why these streets are ruthless. There's no order, just a constant hustle. You pass a baker's stall, the smell of fresh bread tempting, but a quick glance at your empty pouch reminds you you're broke. A man with a scarred face eyes you, his hand hovering near a dagger, and you pick up the pace, your heart racing. Rome's streets aren't just chaotic, they're a survival gauntlet, and you're already failing the first test. Here's the mainstream history bit. Rome's streets were notoriously chaotic and dangerous, especially in densely packed areas like the Subura during the imperial era. With a population nearing 1 million, the city was a sprawling mess of narrow roads, often clogged with pedestrians, carts, and livestock. You're weaving through the crowd now, nearly tripping over a stray dog gnawing on a bone. Most streets lacked proper drainage, so rainwater mixed with garbage and worse, creating a slippery, smelly hazard. Fires were common, too, thanks to wooden tenements and open cooking fires. You glance up at the teetering buildings, half expecting one to collapse. The Roman authorities tried to regulate traffic. Carts were banned during the day, but enforcement was spotty, and the streets stayed wild. You're starting to respect anyone who navigated this daily without losing their sandals or their sanity. You turn a corner, hoping for a quieter path, but instead stumble into a market square. Stalls are packed with fish, olives, and bolts of rough wool, and the noise is deafening. Vendors haggling, a flute player busking, a woman scolding a thief who snatched her bread. You're overwhelmed, but then you notice something odd. A man selling tiny clay figurines shaped like feet. You pause, curious, and he grins, explaining their offerings to the gods for safe travel. You're tempted to buy one, but then remember you're a time traveler with no coins. That's when you catch our obscure trivia for the night. In ancient Rome, some people believed stepping on certain thresholds could bring bad luck, so they carry charms or mutter prayers to avoid divine wrath. You're looking at your squishy sandal now, wondering if you've already cursed yourself by stepping in whatever that was. You give the foot figurine guy a sheepish wave and keep moving, hoping no gods are taking notes. You're starting to feel the city's pulse, but it's exhausting. You duck into an alley for a breather, only to realize it's even shadier literally and figuratively. Two men are whispering by a wall, their eyes darting to you, and you back out, nearly bumping into a woman carrying a water jar. She mutters something about clumsy foreigners, and you're too flustered to argue. This brings us to something historians are still debating: how much of Rome's street chaos was due to poor planning versus cultural norms. Some argue the city's organic growth from a small village to a metropolis made organized urban planning impossible. Others say Romans tolerated the mess because it reflected their dynamic, competitive society. You're dodging another cart now, its driver yelling at a kid blocking the way and thinking it's probably both. But good luck getting scholars to agree they'd rather argue over a broken aqueduct than admit it's a mix. You're getting the hang of this, sort of. You learn to sidestep puddles, ignore the stairs, and keep your hands close to avoid pickpockets. You pass a tavern, its door spilling laughter and the smell of garum, that fishy sauce Romans loved. You're curious but not brave enough to try it, your stomach's already rebelling from the street smells. You notice a group of men rolling dice by a wall, their cheers drawing a crowd. You're tempted to watch, but then spot a patrol of vigiles, Rome's night watchmen, eyeing the gamblers. You keep walking, not wanting to get caught in a crackdown. The streets are a game of chance, and you're not ready to roll the dice. Let us zoom out for a second. Rome wasn't just a city, it was the heart of an empire, a magnet for traders, soldiers, and dreamers. You're in the Subura, but you can see the Palatine Hill in the distance, its marble palaces glinting. The contrast hits you: wealth and squalor, power and chaos, all crammed together. You're starting to understand why surviving here takes grit. You pass a woman weaving baskets, her fingers nimble despite the noise, and she offers you a smile. It's a small kindness, but it keeps you going. You're tired, your sandals caked with who knows what, but you're not giving up yet. You find a stone bench by a fountain, its water surprisingly clean, and sit catching your breath. The streets are ruthless, but you're still here for now. You're still catching your breath on that stone bench by the fountain. The chaos of Rome's streets buzzing around you like a swarm of bees. Your sandals are a mess, caked with Subura sludge, and you're pretty sure you dodged at least one pickpocket back there. The sun's dipping lower, casting long shadows across the cobblestones, and you're wondering where to crash for the night. You can't exactly check into a Roman Airbnb, and the Palatine's fancy villas are way out of your league. You stand, stretching your aching legs, and notice a rickety mud brick building looming nearby, its upper floors leaning like it's had one too many cups of wine. A man hauling a water jar nods toward it, muttering, "Insula's cheap, if you're desperate." Desperate? Yeah, that's you. You head toward the building, ready to dive into the cramped, noisy world of Roman apartment life. Spoiler: it's about as cozy as a barrel of eels. You push through a narrow doorway, the air inside thick with the smell of smoke, stale bread, and something suspiciously like burnt garlic. The ground floor is a mix of shops, a baker's oven glowing red, a weaver's loom clacking away, but a creaky wooden staircase beckons you upward. You climb, each step groaning like it's personally offended, and emerge into a dim hallway lined with doors. The walls are thin, patched with crumbling plaster, and the noise is relentless. A baby wailing, a couple arguing, someone playing a flute like they're auditioning for a headache. You knock on a door, hoping to rent a room, and a gruff woman named Flavia sizes you up. 1 denarius a week, she says, eyeing your dusty tunic. You nod, pretending you've got the cash, and she shoves you into a space barely bigger than a broom closet. Welcome to Insula life, where personal space is a myth. You step into your room, if you can call it that. It's a single chamber, maybe 10 feet square, with a straw mattress in one corner, a wobbly table, and a clay pot that's either for cooking or other things. You're not asking. The window is a tiny square cut into the wall, letting in a sliver of light and a whole lot of street noise, vendors shouting. a cart rattling, a dog barking its head off. You sit on the mattress, which crunches ominously, and realize the walls are so thin you can hear your neighbor snoring. You're starting to get why you wouldn't last a day here between the noise, the smell, and the fact that this place feels one spark away from a fire. You're already dreaming of your time machine. Hear us the mainstream history fact. Insulae were the apartment blocks where most Romans lived, especially in the imperial era around 100 CE, housing the city's working class in cramped, multi-story buildings. You're looking around your tiny room now, the ceiling so low you can't stand up straight. Insulae were often shoddily built, made of mud brick or wood, with upper floors added haphazardly as Rome's population boomed. They could reach 6 or 7 stories, but lacked proper sanitation, no running water, no toilets, just buckets or trips to public latrines. Fires were a constant threat, and collapses weren't uncommon, thanks to greedy landlords cutting corners. You glance at the sagging ceiling, wondering if Flavia's building is up to code. Spoiler, there is no code. You're starting to respect anyone who survived a lease here without losing their mind or their deposit. You try to settle in, but the noise is relentless. Your neighboress now arguing with someone about a missing chicken, and a kid down the hall is practicing what sounds like the world's worst drum solo. You poke your head out, hoping for a break, and see Flavia hauling a basket of laundry up the stairs. She catches your eye and grumbles about the rent, but then softens, offering you a crust of bread. You take it, grateful, and munch on the stale, gritty loaf, wondering how Romans dealt with this chaos daily. That S when you stumble on our obscure trivia for the night. Some Insula residents kept pet birds, like sparrows or doves, in tiny cages to bring a bit of nature into their grim rooms. You notice a woven cage by Flavia's door, a small bird chirping inside, and it's oddly sweet like a feathered therapist for urban stress. You're tempted to get one, but your cat friend from the future would probably have opinions. You're starting to feel the Insula's rhythm or lack thereof. You wander the hallway, dodging a puddle of something you don't want to identify, and peek into another room where a family of 5 is crammed around a single table, sharing a bowl of porridge. The mother, her hands calloused from weaving, smiles wearily as her kids bicker over the last spoonful. You're struck by how tough this life is. No privacy, no quiet, just a constant grind. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Were Insulae a sign of Rome's urban success or a failure of planning? Some argue they were a marvel, housing millions in a bustling capital with limited space. Others say they were a disaster, proof of inequality and neglect, with the poor packed into fire traps while elites lounged in villas. You're listening to the snoring neighbor again, wondering if this is progress or punishment. Probably both, but good luck getting scholars to stop squabbling over it. They'd rather analyze a latrine than agree. You head back to your room, the straw mattress looking less inviting by the minute. You try to block out the noise by stuffing a scrap of cloth in your ears, but it's no use. The flute player's back, and now there's a dog howling in harmony. You're starting to get why Romans were so obsessed with public baths and forums, anything to escape these walls. You light a tiny oil lamp, its flame flickering like it's as tired as you are, and try to plan your next move. You're not sure how you'll pay Flavia or survive the night without the ceiling caving in, but you're determined to keep going. You glance out the window, the Subura's rooftops a jagged silhouette against the dusk, and feel a mix of awe and dread. Rome's Insulae are a test, and you're barely passing. You lie down, the mattress poking your back like it's got a personal grudge, and listen to the city's heartbeat, shouts, laughter, the clatter of a distant cart. You're starting to understand the resilience it took to live here, to carve out a life in this noisy, shaky box. You're not sure what's next, but you're ready to face it, even if your room smells like a gym sock and the neighbor's chicken dispute is now a full-blown saga. You close your eyes, the lamp-esque glow fading, and brace yourself for whatever Rome throws at you tomorrow. You wake up in your cramped insular room, the straw mattress leaving your back feeling like you've wrestled a gladiator. The Subura-esque morning cacophony shouting vendors, creaking carts, and that cursed flute player jerks you out of a dream about escaping Rome-esque chaos. Your tunic-esque wrinkled, your mouth tastes like Flavia-esque stale bread, and the air smells like smoke and yesterday-esque porridge. You're already exhausted, but lying here listening to your neighbor argue about his missing chicken isn't an option. You need a break, something to make you feel human again. You remember passing a bathhouse yesterday, its tiled entrance promising a slice of Roman luxury. Grabbing your one cleanish tunic, you head out hoping for a relaxing soak. Spoiler, the public baths are less spa day and more survival challenge, and you're about to find out why. You stumble down the insula-esque rickety stairs, dodging a kid chasing a stray cat, and hit the streets. The Subura-esque as chaotic as ever, but you weave through the crowd, following the faint steam rising from a nearby bathhouse. The building-esque modest compared to the grand baths of Caracalla you've heard about, but its mosaic entrance dolphins and waves in blue tile looks inviting. You pay a small bronze coin to the attendant who barely glances at you and step inside. The air hits you like a warm, damp hug, heavy with the scent of olive oil and herbs. You hear laughter, splashing, and the hum of conversation, and for a moment you think you've found Rome's one chill spot. Then you see the crowd, dozens of sweaty Romans, from merchants to laborers, packed into the steamy rooms, and realize this is less oasis, more obstacle course. You start in the apoditerium, the changing room where you strip off your tunic and stash it in a cubby. No lockers, no keys, just a slave watching the piles of clothes, and you're pretty sure he's not catching every thief. You wrap a cloth around your waist, already sweating, and head toward the tepidarium, the warm room. The floor is heated by an underfloor system, and it's toasty on your bare feet, but the crowd is elbow to elbow, and someone's kid is running laps, slipping on the tiles. You're starting to get why the baths are treacherous between the slick floors, the pickpockets, and the sheer chaos. You're one misstep from disaster. You find a spot to sit, the marble bench warm against your back, and try to relax, but a guy nearby is loudly negotiating a grain deal, and you're already regretting this. Here's the mainstream history fact. Public bathhouses were central to Roman social life, especially in the imperial era around 100 CE, serving as places to clean, socialize, and conduct business. You're looking around the tepidarium now, its walls painted with faded nymphs and fish. Baths were open to all classes with low entry fees and could host hundreds at once, from plebs to senators. They had multiple rooms, warm, hot, and cold, plus extras like exercise yards or libraries in fancier ones. The hypocaust system, a network of underfloor pipes, kept them heated, a marvel of engineering. But hygiene was iffy, water wasn't always changed, and diseases could spread. You're eyeing the steam now, wondering what's lurking in it and wishing you'd brought hand sanitizer. Romans loved their baths, but you're starting to think they were braver than you. You move to the caldarium, the hot room where the heat is intense, like stepping into a pizza oven. The pool is steaming and you ease in, the water scalding but oddly soothing. You're surrounded by Romans, some gossiping, others scrubbing with strigils, those curved metal tools for scraping off oil and dirt. You try one, borrowed from a friendly barber, and it's weirdly satisfying, like peeling a sunburn. But then you notice something odd. A guy selling tiny glass vials of healing bathwater to a gullible-looking woman. You raise an eyebrow, and that's when you hit our obscure trivia for the night. Some Romans believed bathwater from certain springs or famous baths had medicinal powers, and hawkers sold it as a cure for everything from warts to bad luck. You're watching the woman hand over a coin, wondering if she knows it's just sweaty pool water. You're tempted to warn her, but the barber shakes his head, muttering, "Let her dream." You keep scraping, hoping you're not catching anything from this healing soup. You're starting to feel the bathhouse-esque vibe, but it's not all relaxing. The caldarium-esque crowded, and you nearly slip on a slick tile, catching yourself on a stranger's arm. He laughs, but your rattled falls here can crack skulls. You overhear a woman complaining about a rash she got last week, and your skin crawls. You head to the frigidarium, the cold plunge pool, hoping to cool off and maybe disinfect yourself. The water is shockingly cold, like jumping into a glacier, and you gasp, drawing chuckles from a group of old men playing dice nearby. You're starting to see why the baths are a social hub. Everyone is here, from dealmakers to dice rollers, but the risks are real and you're not sure you're cut out for this daily dip. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Were public baths a public health triumph or a breeding ground for disease? Some argue they were a hygiene win, giving even the poor access to cleaning facilities in a dirty city. Others say the shared water, lack of sterilization, and crowded conditions spread infections like wildfire, from skin rashes to worse. You're shivering in the frigidarium now, wondering if you're cleaner or just marinated in Roman germs. The truth is probably both baths were a marvel and a menace, but good luck getting scholars to agree. They'd rather dissect a hypocaust pipe than admit it's a mixed bag. You climb out of the cold pool, your teeth chattering, and head back to the apoditerium to grab your tunic. You're relieved to find it still there, though someone else borrowed your spare cloth. You dress, the damp air clinging to your skin, and step outside, the Subura's noise hitting you like a slap. The baths were a break, sort of, but you're exhausted and your skin feels like it's plotting a rebellion. You pass a street vendor selling sausages, the smell tempting, but you're too paranoid about bathhouse germs to eat. You're starting to understand why Romans were so tough surviving a bath took grit, never mind the streets or insuli. You head back toward Flavia's, hoping your room is still standing, ready for whatever Rome throws at you next. You're trudging back from the bathhouse, your skin still prickling from the frigidarium's icy plunge, and your mind spinning with the chaos of Rome's public baths. The Subura's streets are quieter now, the sun sinking behind the teetering insuli, casting long shadows over the cobblestones. Your stomach growls, loud enough to rival the stray dog sniffing a nearby pile of garbage. Flavia's stale bread from last night is a distant memory, and the sausage vendor you passed earlier is long gone. You're starving, but the thought of Roman food, those fishy sauces and mystery stews you've heard about, makes you nervous. You head toward a bustling tavern, its oil lamps flickering invitingly, hoping to find something edible. Spoiler: the Roman diet is a culinary gauntlet, and you're about to discover why it's as unforgiving as the streets you're dodging. You squeeze through the tavern's doorway, the air thick with the smell of sizzling meat, sour wine, and sweat. The room's packed laborers hunched over wooden tables, a merchant arguing with a serving girl, a couple sharing a loaf in the corner. You find a wobbly stool near the counter, your tunic sticking to your damp skin, and scan the chalked board behind the bar. The menu is in Latin, but you make out words like pulse porridge, garum, that infamous fish sauce, and lucanica sausage. Your stomach is begging for mercy, but the options look more like a dare than dinner. A burly tavern keeper, his apron stained with grease, slams a clay cup of watered wine in front of you. Eat or leave, he grunts, eyeing your empty hands. You nod, hoping you can fake your way through this meal without gagging. The serving girl plops a bowl of pulse on the table, a grayish porridge studded with bits of onion and what might be herbs or bugs. You're not sure. You take a cautious spoonful, and it's fine if you ignore the gritty texture and the fact it tastes like boiled socks. You glance around, noticing most patrons are dunking bread into bowls of garum-drenched stew, their faces unfazed. You're starting to realize eating in Rome isn't just about hunger, it's about survival, and you're already struggling. The tavern's noise dice clinking, a drunk singing off key makes it hard to focus, but you're determined to choke this down, if only to avoid the keeper's glare. Here's the mainstream history fact: the Roman diet was heavily stratified and often scarce for the lower classes in the imperial era around 100 CE. You're stirring your pulse now, wishing for a pizza. Most Romans, especially plebs like you're pretending to be, relied on grains barley, wheat, or emmer made into porridge or bread, supplemented with vegetables like onions, cabbage, or lentils. Meat was rare, reserved for festivals or the wealthy, and fish sauce, garum, was a staple, adding flavor to bland dishes. The urban poor often ate at taverns or street stalls, as Insuli lacked kitchens. Food shortages were common, with grain-dole distributions keeping Rome from starvation. You're starting to respect anyone who survived on this diet without rioting or at least sneaking some of that elite roast peacock. You take another bite, washing it down with the wine, which tastes like vinegar had a bad day. The tavern keeper tosses you a chunk of crusty bread and you tear into it, grateful for something familiar. That's when you overhear a customer complaining about a batch of spoiled garum that made his family sick. You freeze, your spoon hovering over the bowl, and notice a tiny vial of garum on the table, its fishy stench wafting up. This brings us to our obscure trivia for the night. Some Romans used garum as a medicine, believing it could cure everything from stomach aches to dog bites. You're staring at the vial now, wondering if it's a condiment or a quack remedy, and honestly, you're not brave enough to find out. You push it away, hoping your pulse is garum-free, and give the keeper a weak smile. He doesn't smile back. You're starting to feel the weight of this meal, and not in a good way. The tavern's warm, but you're sweating from stress, not heat. You notice a woman at the next table nibbling on olives, her fingers stained with brine, and she catches your eye. "New here?" she asks, tossing you an olive. You catch it, pop it in your mouth, and nearly choke on the bitter tang. She laughs, introducing herself as Livia, a weaver who eats here daily. She tells you the trick is to mix the pulse with a bit of garum for flavor, but you politely decline, citing stomach issues. Livia shrugs, saying you'll learn or starve. You're starting to see why the Roman diet was a deal-breaker, scarce, strange, and sometimes straight-up risky. This brings us to something historians are still debating. How nutritious was the Roman diet for the average person? Some scholars argue it was balanced enough, with grains, legumes, and occasional protein providing decent sustenance, especially with the grain dole. Others say it was woefully inadequate, lacking vitamins and variety, leading to malnutrition among the poor. You're chewing your gritty bread now, feeling like you're one meal away from scurvy, and leaning toward the inadequate side. The truth is probably somewhere in between. Romans survived, but barely, but good luck getting academics to stop bickering over ancient grocery lists. You're halfway through the pulse when Livia offers you a sip of her mulsum, a honey-sweetened wine. You take a cautious sip, and it's surprisingly good, cutting through the porridge-esque grimness. You're starting to get the tavern-esque vibe. People aren't just eating, they're bonding, gossiping, surviving. A group of laborers is sharing a plate of boiled cabbage, laughing about a chariot race, while a kid sweeps crumbs for a stray dog. You're tempted to stay, but your stomach's staging a protest, and you're worried about Flavia's rent. You thank Livia, leave a crumb of bread as a tip, and head out, the tavern's warmth fading into the cool evening air. You're back in the Subura, the streets quieter but still alive with flickering lamps and distant shouts. Your belly's full, sort of, but you're already dreading your next meal. You pass a baker's stall, closed for the night, and a wall graffitied with a crude fish, probably a garum ad. You're thinking about Livia, the tavern keeper, and all the Romans who made this diet work somehow. You're not sure how you'll survive another day of pulse and garum, but you're determined to try, even if your taste buds are begging for mercy. You head toward Flavia's insula, the stars peeking through the rooftops, ready for whatever Rome's next challenge brings. You're stumbling back to Flavia's insula, your stomach still grumbling from that questionable bowl of pulse and the lingering aftertaste of garum haunting your breath. The Subura's evening streets are alive with flickering oil lamps and the hum of tavern laughter, but you're too full and too tired to care. You're dreaming of your straw mattress crunchy as it is when a roar erupts from the distance, like a thunderstorm rolling in. You pause, heart thumping, as a crowd spills out of an alley, their faces lit with excitement, shouting about games at the amphitheater. Your curiosity, that pesky time traveler trait, kicks in, and you follow the mob, weaving through the Subura toward a massive stone structure looming against the twilight sky. Welcome to the Gladiator Games, where Rome's love for spectacle is as thrilling as it is shocking, and you're about to learn why one visit might be your last. You join the throng, their energy infectious as they surge toward the amphitheater, not the Colosseum, which isn't built yet, but a smaller, still impressive venue, its arches glowing under torchlight. You're swept along, your sandals slipping on the uneven path, and manage to squeeze through the entrance without a ticket, lucky, since you're still broke. The air smells of sweat, roasted chickpeas, and something metallic you don't want to name. You climb steep stone steps, elbowing past a vendor hawking clay figurines of fighters, and find a seat high up, the view dizzying. Below, the arena's sand floor is raked smooth, lit by flickering braziers, and the crowd's roar shakes the stone beneath you. You're excited but uneasy, this isn't a movie, it's real, and you're not sure your stomach's ready for Rome's idea of entertainment. The games begin with a parade, fighters marching in, some in gleaming armor, others bare-chested, their weapons glinting. The crowd cheers, throwing flowers and insults in equal measure. You spot a retiarius with his net and trident facing a murmillo, his heavy shield and sword raised. You're trying to keep up, but the announcer's Latin is too fast, and the crowd's chanting drowns him out. The fight starts, and its fast metal clangs, sand flies, and the retiarius dances around the murmillo's swings. You're gripping your seat, half cheering, half cringing as the net flies and misses. You're starting to get why you wouldn't last a day here, this isn't just a show, it's a brutal dance of skill and survival, and you're just a spectator, barely keeping your lunch down. Here's the mainstream history fact. Gladiator games were a cornerstone of Roman culture, especially in the imperial era around 100 CE, blending entertainment, politics, and social control. You're watching the Murmillo land a hit, the crowd roaring as the retiarius stumbles. Gladiators were often slaves, prisoners, or volunteers trained in schools to fight in arenas across the empire. Games were funded by elites to win public favor, offering free entry and food to keep the masses happy. Fights weren't always to the death, many ended with surrender or mercy, but injuries were common and the risk was real. You're staring at the sand now, hoping it stays blood-free, and realizing these games were Rome's way of flexing power while keeping the mob distracted. You're impressed, but also a little queasy, wondering how anyone sat through this without needing a nap or a therapist. You're trying to focus on the fight, but the crowd's chaos is distracting. A man next to you is betting denarii on the retiarius, while a woman tosses chickpeas at a heckler below. You notice a kid, maybe 10, waving a wooden sword, mimicking the fighters. It's wild how normal this feels to them, like you're the odd one out for flinching. That's when you catch our obscure trivia for the night. Some Romans wore gladiator-themed charms like tiny bronze swords or helmets, believing they brought courage or luck. You spot a woman nearby, her neck adorned with a miniature trident pendant, and wonder if she's rooting for the retiarius or just hedging her bets against bad vibes. You're tempted to ask, but the crowd's roar pulls you back, the murmillo's down, and the retiarius is circling, net raised. You're holding your breath, not sure if you want to cheer or look away. The fight ends with the murmillo yielding, his hand raised in surrender. The crowd chants, some calling for mercy, others for death, and you're relieved when the referee signals a reprieve. The fighters limp off, the sand raked clean for the next bout. You're shaken, but the crowd's already hyped for more, passing around wineskins and shouting bets. You're starting to see why the games were addictive. They're raw, unpredictable, a mirror of Rome's ruthless spirit. But they're also a reminder of how fragile life is here, even for the victors. You lean back, the stone cool against your back, and try to process it all, but a new pair of fighters enters and the crowd's roar drowns your thoughts. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Were gladiator games primarily entertainment or a tool for social control? Some argue they were a cultural outlet, letting Romans channel their love for competition and drama while celebrating martial skill. Others say they were a deliberate distraction, keeping the restless urban masses from revolting by offering blood and bread. You're watching the crowd now, their faces alight with joy and fury, and thinking it's probably both fun and manipulation, wrapped in a sandy spectacle. But good luck getting scholars to agree they'd rather argue over a gladiator-esque helmet than admit it's a mix. You're starting to feel the arena's weight, the noise and heat pressing in. You notice a vendor selling honeyed nuts, and you're tempted, but your pulse-scarred stomach vetoes the idea. You spot a group of women debating the fighters' skills, their laughter cutting through the chaos, and it grounds you. These games are brutal, but they're also human people connecting, betting, dreaming, even in the shadow of danger. You're not sure you could stomach another fight, but you stay drawn to the energy. Your neighbor offers you a sip of his wine, and you take it, the sour tang a welcome distraction. You're starting to understand why Romans flocked here, even if you're one cheer away from needing a nap. You stand to stretch, the stone steps hard under your feet, and glance at the arena, where a new fight is brewing. The crowd is chanting, the braziers flickering, and you feel Rome's pulse wild, relentless, alive. You're not sure how you'll survive the rest of this day, but you're tougher than you thought, sitting through the spectacle without bolting. You head down the steps, ready to slip back into the Subura streets, the roar of the games echoing behind you, a reminder that Rome's heart beats loudest in its chaos. You're slipping away from the amphitheater, the gladiator games' roar fading into a distant hum as you weave through the Subura's twilight streets. Your heart's still racing from the arena's intensity, and your sandals are caked with dust and who knows what from the stone steps. The air smells of roasted chickpeas and cooling earth, but the spectacle's thrill is giving way to a heavy unease. You're thinking about those fighter slaves, some of them, risking their lives for a cheering mob, and it hits you that slavery isn't just a footnote in Rome's story, it's everywhere. You turn a corner, heading toward Flavia's insula, when you spot a group of men and women, their wrists chained, being herded by a whip-wielding overseer toward a market square. Your stomach twists. Welcome to the grim reality of Roman slavery, where one encounter shows you why surviving as a slave or even near one makes lasting a day in Rome feel like a long shot. You slow your pace, keeping to the shadows of a mud brick wall, not wanting to draw attention. The group shuffles past, their faces gaunt, clothes ragged, eyes fixed on the ground. There are mixed men with calloused hands, women clutching tattered shawls, even a boy no older than 12, his shoulders slumped. The overseer, a burly man with a scarred arm, barks orders in Latin, his whip cracking for emphasis. You flinch, and a passerby, an older woman selling olives, mutters, "Fresh from the provinces, poor souls." You're struck by the casualness, like this is just another Tuesday in Rome. You follow at a distance, curiosity and dread pulling you toward the square, where torchlight reveals a wooden platform and a crowd of buyers sizing up the group. This isn't just a market, it's a human auction, and you're about to see Rome's South darkest side up close. You find a spot near a fountain, its trickle barely audible over the crowd's murmurs. The auctioneer, a wiry man with a voice like gravel, starts the bidding, gesturing to a tall man with a fresh brand on his arm. You wince, realizing he is likely a prisoner of war, sold into slavery after Rome's latest conquest. The buyers, merchants, landowners, even a toga-clad patrician raise hands, their faces cold, calculating. You're trying to stay calm, but the boy's turn comes next, and your chest tightens. He is sold to a grim-faced man who runs a bakery, and you overhear someone say he'll spend his days grinding flour. You're starting to get why slavery's reality is so harsh. It's not just labor, it's a life stripped of hope. And you're not sure you could handle even a glimpse of it without breaking. Here's the mainstream history fact. Slavery was the backbone of ancient Rome's economy and society, especially in the imperial era around 100 CE, with millions enslaved across the empire. You're watching the auction now, the torchlight casting shadows on the platform. Slaves were war captives, debtors, or born into servitude, working in households, farms, mines, or arenas. They had no legal rights, could be beaten or killed by masters, and faced grueling conditions. Some household slaves had it better, but freedom was rare. Estimates suggest up to a third of Rome's population were slaves, powering everything from bread production to gladiator fights. You're thinking about that boy, destined for a flour mill, and realizing Rome's grandeur, its baths, its forums rests on their backs. You're shaken, wondering how anyone endured this life, let alone survived it daily. You're trying to process the scene when a woman in the group, her hair matted, catches your eye. She is sold to a matron who needs a weaver, and as she is led away, she hums a soft tune, barely audible. This haunting, a flicker of defiance or maybe just survival, and it sticks with you. That S when you stumble on our obscure trivia for the night. Some slaves in Rome wore bronze tags, like dog collars, inscribed with their owner's name and a reward for returning runaways. You notice a glint around the woman's neck, a small plaque catching the torchlight, and your stomach churns. It's a brutal reminder of their status, like their property, not people. You're tempted to look away, but her humming keeps you rooted, a tiny act of humanity in this dehumanizing place. You're starting to see why Rome's streets feel so ruthless. Slavery's shadow touches everything. You move away from the fountain, the auction's drone fading as you duck into an alley, needing a breather. The air is cooler here, but the weight of what you saw clings to you. You pass a tavern, its door spilling laughter, and spot a slave inside, sweeping crumbs while patrons ignore him. You're struck by how normal this is. Slaves are everywhere, invisible yet essential. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Was Roman slavery uniquely cruel compared to other ancient systems, or just a product of its time? Some argue it was harsher, with its scale and lack of legal protections, breaking families and spirits on an industrial level. Others say it was standard for ancient economies, with some slaves earning freedom or favor, softening the system's edges. You're thinking about that humming woman, her bronze tag, and leaning toward cruel. But good luck getting scholars to agree. They rather argue over a manumission tablet than admit it's nuanced. You're starting to feel Rome's pulse differently now, its glamour tarnished by the chains you just saw. You wander back toward the Subura South Main Street, the auction square behind you but not forgotten. You notice a man unloading amphory from a cart, his wrists scarred, likely a freedman who bought his way out. He catches your eye and nods, a small gesture that feels like solidarity. You're tempted to ask his story, but he's already back to work, the cart creaking under its load. You're starting to understand why surviving Rome takes more than dodging carts or eating pulse. It's about navigating a world where freedom is a luxury, not a given. You're shaken, but you keep walking, the insula's rickety outline ahead, ready for whatever Rome throws next. You reach Flavia's building, the stairs groaning as you climb to your tiny room. You collapse on the straw mattress, the city's noise shouts, a distant dog filtering through the thin walls. You're thinking about the boy, the woman, the countless others you didn't see their lives fueling Rome's machine. You're not sure how you'll face another day here, but you're tougher than you thought, sitting through that auction without running. You close your eyes, the lamp's flicker fading, and brace yourself for tomorrow, hoping it's less heavy than tonight. You're slumped on your straw mattress in Flavia's insula, the weight of last night's slave auction still pressing on your chest like a Roman sandal. The Subura's morning racket vendors hollering, a donkey braying, and that neighbor's endless chicken drama drags you out of a fitful sleep. Your tunic's crumpled, your mouth tastes like regret, and the memory of that humming woman's bronze tag keeps you from drifting back to dreams. You're about to hide under the scratchy blanket when a thunderous cheer shakes the walls, louder than any gladiator roar. You stumble to your tiny window, squinting into the dawn, and see crowds streaming toward a massive oval structure in the distance, banners flapping in the breeze. Chariot races at the Circus Maximus. Your curiosity, that time traveler's curse, wins again, and you grab your sandals, ready to dive into the chaos of Rome's wildest spectacle. Spoiler, it's a frenzy that makes the Subura's streets look like a picnic, and you're about to learn why one lap could be your undoing. You scramble down the insula's creaky stairs, dodging a kid tossing a ball, and hit the streets. The Subura's buzzing, with families, gamblers, and vendors all heading toward the circus. You're swept along, your sandals slipping on cobblestones slick with morning dew. The air smells of fresh bread and horse sweat, and the crowd's energy is electric, people waving colored flags, shouting about greens and blues. You're not sure what that means, but you're too busy dodging a cart piled with amphorae to care. You reach the Circus Maximus, its stone arches towering like a giant racetrack, and slip through the entrance, no ticket needed lucky, since Flavia's rent is still looming. You climb to a high bench, the view dizzying as 150,000 Romans pack the stands, their cheers rattling your bones. Below, the sandy track stretches long and narrow, 12 chariots lined up, horses snorting steam in the cool air. You're hyped, but your gut's whispering this might be more than you bargained for. The race starts with a trumpet blast, and the chariots explode forward, wheels churning sand, drivers leaning hard into the turns. You're gripping the bench, eyes glued to a green team driver, his chariot swerving to block a blue. The crowd roars, some throwing fruit at rival fans, and you duck a stray olive. The track's tight, with a stone spine, the spina dividing it, and crashes are instant. A red chariot clips the turn, flipping spectacularly, horses tangling in reins. You gasp, but the crowd cheers louder, like it's the best part. You're starting to get why this is chaos between the speed, the crashes, and the mob's fever. You're one spilled wine cup away from a riot. You're not sure you'd survive a lap, let alone a day in this madness. Here's the mainstream history fact. Chariot races were Rome's most popular public entertainment, especially in the imperial era around 100 CE, drawing massive crowds to venues like the Circus Maximus. You're watching the green driver now, his chariot skidding around a turn, barely missing the spina's obelisk. Races were organized by 4 factions: red, white, blue, and green, backed by wealthy patrons and emperors to win public loyalty. Drivers, often slaves or freedmen, were celebrities, earning fame and fortune despite the deadly risks. A race with 7 laps, marked by dolphin statues tipping on the spina, and crashes, called shipwrecks, were common. The circus could seat a quarter of Rome's population, uniting classes in a shared frenzy. You're feeling the unity now, but also the danger: one wrong move and you're toast. Romans lived for this, but you're wondering how they stomached the carnage without a nap or a stiff drink. You're trying to keep up, but the crowd's chaos is overwhelming. A man next to you, his tunic stained with wine, is screaming for the blues, while a woman waves a green flag like her life depends on it. You notice a kid selling clay tokens shaped like horses, bets for the next race, and you're tempted to join in, but your empty pouch laughs at the idea. That's when you catch our obscure trivia for the night. Some Romans believed chariot races were influenced by curses, using lead tablets inscribed with spells to hex rival teams or horses. You spot a shady guy in the stands, muttering over a small metal square, and wonder if he's jinxing the greens. It's wild to think fans took it this seriously, but given the crowd's fever, you're not surprised. You're just hoping no one's cursing your bench for bad luck. You've had enough of Rome's surprises. The race ends with the green team winning, the driver raising a whip as the crowd erupts. You're cheering, caught in the moment, but then notice the wreckage: a broken chariot, a limping horse, the red driver being carted off. The crowd's already hyped for the next race, passing around bread and wine, but you're shaken, the thrill souring into unease. You're starting to see why chariot races were Rome's heartbeat: raw, unifying, but ruthless, like the city itself. You lean back, the stone bench cool against your back, trying to process the speed, the crashes, the sheer insanity. A new race is lining up, but you're not sure your nerves can handle another lap. This brings us to something historians are still debating: were chariot races primarily a social unifier or a political tool? Some argue they were a rare equalizer, bringing plebs and patricians together in shared passion, fostering civic pride. Others say they were a calculated distraction, staged by emperors to keep the masses from revolting over bread shortages or taxes. You're watching the crowd now, their faces alight with joy and fury, and thinking it's probably both fun and control, mixed like sand and sweat on the track. But good luck getting scholars to agree they'd rather argue over a chariot wheel than admit it's a blend. You're starting to feel the circus's weight, the noise and heat pressing in like a living thing. A vendor offers you a skewer of grilled meat, but your pulse-scarred stomach passes. You notice a group of teens chanting for the blues, their laughter cutting through the chaos, and it grounds you. These races are wild, but they're human people betting, dreaming, living in the moment, even if that moment is a heartbeat from disaster. You're tempted to stay, drawn to the energy, but your head is spinning, and Flavia's insula feels like a distant sanctuary. You stand, the stone steps slick under your feet, and head for the exit. The crowd's roar chasing you into the Subura's dusk, a reminder that Rome's chaos never sleeps. You're weaving through the Subura's dusk-lit streets, the chariot race's thunder still echoing in your ears like a fever dream. Your sandals are gritty with Circus Maximus dust, and your head is spinning from the crashes and curses you witnessed. The air smells of cooling stone and street vendors sizzling sausages. But you're too rattled to eat, your pulse-scarred stomach begging for a break. You're aiming for Flavia's insula, craving the dubious comfort of your straw mattress, when you notice a crowd gathered near a grand building with marble columns and flickering torches. Men in togas are whispering, their faces tight, while a street orator rants about senators and scandals. You pause, curiosity overriding your exhaustion, and realize you've stumbled into the edge of Rome's political scene, a world of schemes and backstabbing where one wrong word could end you. Buckle up, because navigating this mess makes chariot races look like a stroll, and you're about to learn why you'd be lucky to survive a day in Rome's power games. You edge closer, keeping to the shadows of a baker's stall, the smell of fresh loaves almost tempting you to linger. The building is a basilica, a hub for legal and political dealings, its steps crowded with men clutching scrolls and exchanging guarded glances. You're out of place in your dusty tunic, but the crowd is too distracted to notice. You overhear snippets talk of a senator's bribery scandal, a consul's shady land deal, and it's clear this isn't just gossip, it's a high-stakes chess game. A young man in a crisp toga, probably a scribe, bumps into you, muttering apologies before hurrying toward a group of older men arguing over a papyrus. You're tempted to bolt, but a woman selling clay lamps nearby catches your eye and nods toward the basilica. Watch your back, she whispers, or you'll end up like Caesar. You swallow hard, realizing Rome's politics aren't just talk, they're a battlefield, and you're standing in the crossfire. You slip into the Basilica's outer courtyard where torches cast long shadows on the mosaic floor. The air is thick with the scent of wax and ambition, and the crowd mixed senators in white togas, clients trailing their patrons, and a few shifty types who look like they're plotting something. You overhear a man, his voice low, offering to sway a vote for a sack of denarii, while another brags about blackmailing a rival with forged letters. You're starting to get why this is dangerous. Every word is a weapon, and trust is rarer than a clean Subura street. You find a spot by a column, pretending to admire a statue of Jupiter, but really you're trying not to look like easy prey. You're already regretting leaving the circus. At least there, the danger was up front, not cloaked in smiles and scrolls. Here's the mainstream history fact. Roman politics in the imperial era, around 100 CE, was a cutthroat arena of alliances, bribes, and betrayals centered in institutions like the Senate and Forum. You're watching a senator now, his toga edged with purple, arguing with a rival over a tax law. The Republic's fall had shifted power to emperors, but senators, consuls, and magistrates still schemed for influence, wealth, or survival. Patron-client relationships were key. Powerful men supported loyal followers in exchange for votes or favors, creating networks of obligation. Betrayal was common, with political enemies exiled, bankrupted, or worse, often through trumped-up charges. You're thinking about Julius Caesar, stabbed by friends, and realizing that even in this later era, a wrong move could end you. You're starting to respect anyone who played this game without losing their head literally or figuratively. You're trying to stay invisible, but a man in a worn tunic approaches, mistaking you for a client's aide. He shoves a wax tablet into your hands, muttering about delivering it to a senator named Lucius. You stammer, trying to explain you're just a bystander, but he's already gone, swallowed by the crowd. You glance at the tablet, its Latin scrawl unreadable to you, and panic sets in. What if it's a bribe, a threat, or worse? That's when you stumble on our obscure trivia for the night. Some Romans used coded messages, like substituting letters or using invisible ink made from plant sap to hide sensitive political plans. You're holding the tablet now, wondering if it's a harmless note or a coded plot to topple a consul. You're tempted to ditch it, but a guard's watching, and you don't want to look suspicious. You tuck it under your tunic, hoping you're not accidentally starring in Rome's next scandal. You're starting to feel the Basilica's tension, like a bowstring ready to snap. You move toward the exit, dodging a group of scribes debating a new law, their voices sharp with urgency. You overhear a woman whispering about a senator poisoned at a banquet, and your skin crawls. Politics here isn't just talk, it's life or death. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Was Roman political corruption a sign of decline or just business as usual? Some argue it weakened the empire, fostering instability as elites prioritized personal gain over governance. Others say it was standard, a functional part of a system where loyalty was bought and sold, keeping Rome's wheels turning. You're watching the senator now, his smile masking who knows what and leaning toward decline. But good luck getting scholars to agree they'd rather dissect a senator's will than admit it's both. You're almost at the courtyard's edge when a commotion erupts. A man's accused of forging a magistrate's seal, and guards are dragging him away. The crowd buzzes, some jeering, others slipping away like they're next. You're shaken, the tablet burning a hole under your tunic. You spot the lamp seller again, her stall now packed with customers, and she gives you a knowing look like she has seen this drama before. You're starting to see why politics is a game you'd lose. Too many players, too many knives, and you're just a time traveler with no allies. You slip the tablet into a pile of scrolls by a statue, hoping it's someone else's problem now, and head for the exit, the Basilica's marble chill fading behind you. You're back in the Subura, the streets quieter but still alive with flickering lamps and distant laughter. Your heart's racing, the weight of Rome's scheming clinging to you like damp wool. You pass a tavern where a man's boasting about his patron's latest Senate win, and you're tempted to eavesdrop, but your nerves are shot. You're thinking about that forged seal, the coded tablet, and all the Romans navigating this snake pit daily. You're not sure how you'll survive another hour here, let alone a day, but you're tougher than you thought, dodging political traps without a toga or a clue. You head toward Flavia's Insula, the stars glinting above, ready for Rome's next challenge, even if it's just climbing those rickety stairs. You're trudging back to Flavia's Insula, the Basilica's political scheming still buzzing in your head like a swarm of Roman flies. Your tunic's damp with sweat, your sandals gritty from Subura streets, and the memory of that coded tablet you ditched feels like a narrow escape from a senator's hit list. The night air's cool, carrying the scent of olive oil lamps and distant wood smoke, but you're too wired to relax. You're almost at the insula when you notice a small crowd gathered around a street shrine, its stone altar flickering with candlelight. A woman in a shawl is muttering prayers, tossing herbs into a brazier while others clutch tiny clay figurines. The vibe is intense, like they're warding off a curse, and your curiosity that time traveler's Achilles heel pulls you closer. Welcome to the quirky, superstitious world of Roman rituals where every step's a potential jinx, and you're about to learn why one misstep in the spiritual minefield could make surviving a day in Rome a divine challenge. You sidle up to the shrine, keeping a respectful distance, the air thick with the sharp tang of burning rosemary. The altar's modest, carved with images of household gods Laras and Penates flanking a tiny statue of Vesta, goddess of the hearth. The woman, her face lined with worry, scatters barley grains and murmurs something about protection. You're out of your depth, but a man next to you, his tunic patched but clean, notices your confusion and leans in. That omens, he whispers, nodding toward a blackbird perched on a nearby wall. She's appeasing the gods. You nod, pretending you get it, but your modern brain's screaming, it's just a bird. You're starting to realize Rome's superstitions aren't just quirky, they're a way of life, and you're about to get roped into a ritual whether you like it or not. The woman who introduces herself as Claudia hands you a clay amulet shaped like a hand, its fingers crossed in a gesture you recognize but didn't expect here. For luck, she says, her eyes insistent. You take it, not wanting to offend, and follow her lead as she sprinkles wine on the altar, the liquid hissing in the flames. The crowd's small but devout, their faces lit by flickering light, and you're swept into the rhythm muttering prayers you don't understand, tossing a pinch of salt into the brazier. You're trying to keep up, but the blackbird flaps its wings and Claudia gasps like it's a divine PowerPoint slide. You're starting to get why these rituals are overwhelming, every moment's a sign, every action a risk, and you're one wrong move from angering a god you didn't know existed. Here's the mainstream history fact. Religion and superstition permeated daily life in ancient Rome around 100 CE, with rituals to appease gods, ancestors, and spirits shaping everything from meals to marriages. You're standing by the shrine now, the amulet heavy in your hand. Romans worshipped a pantheon Jupiter, Juno, Vesta, and countless others alongside household deities like Laras, who protected homes. Public and private rituals, from sacrifices to simple offerings, were routine, believed to maintain Pax Deorum, the peace of the gods. Omens, like birds or thunder, were taken seriously, guiding decisions from battles to business. You're thinking about Claudia's barley, scattered to avoid divine wrath, and realizing these practices weren't optional, they were survival, as vital as bread or baths. You're starting to respect anyone who navigated this spiritual maze without a meltdown or a lightning strike. You're fumbling through the ritual, mimicking Claudia's gestures when she hands you a small loaf to place on the altar. You set it down, hoping you're not jinxing yourself, and notice a kid in the crowd, maybe 8, clutching a clay pig figurine. He catches your eye and grins, whispering that it's for good crops. That's when you hit our obscure trivia for the night. Some Romans carried miniature animal charms like pigs or roosters, believing they could absorb bad luck, sparing their owners. You're looking at the kid's pig now, its painted eyes oddly cheerful, and wondering if it's working overtime with that blackbird around. It's a quirky belief, but it fits Rome's vibe. Why trust fate when you can bribe it with a clay porker? You're tempted to ask for one, but Claudia's eyeing you like you're slacking, so you toss another pinch of salt and pray you're doing it right. You're starting to feel the shrine's weight, the flickering flames and murmured prayers pressing in like a living thing. The crowd's dispersing, but Claudia insists you join a final chant, something about Vesta's eternal fire. You mumble along, your Latin shaky, and notice the blackbird's gone, which Claudia takes as a win. You're relieved, but also rattled. Every ritual feels like a test, and you're barely passing. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Were Roman superstitions a unifying cultural force or a source of anxiety? Some argue they brought communities together, with shared rituals reinforcing social bonds and cosmic order. Others say they bred fear, with omens and taboos controlling daily life, making Romans jumpy about every bird or breeze. You're clutching your amulet now, half convinced that Blackbird's plotting your doom and leaning toward anxiety. But good luck getting scholars to agree. They rather argue over a sacrificial knife than admit it's both. You're wrapping up the ritual, your hands dusty with salt and barley, when Claudia pats your arm, thanking you for joining. She slips you a dried fig, its sweetness a small comfort, and you pop it in your mouth, savoring the crunch. The crowd has gone, leaving the shrine quiet, its candles burning low. You notice a man nearby, etching a prayer on a lead tablet, probably another curse or plea. You're struck by how personal this feels, not just duty, but hope, fear, a way to face Rome's chaos. You're tempted to stay, drawn to the shrine's calm, but your legs ache, and Flavia's insula calls. You tuck the amulet into your tunic, hoping it's got some luck left, and head back to the Subura, the stars bright above the rooftops. You're back in the streets, the shrine's warmth fading into the night's chill. Your heart's still racing, the weight of Rome's rituals clinging to you like incense. You pass a tavern, where a woman's offering wine to a Lar statue, and you're tempted to join, but your nerves are frayed. You're thinking about Claudia, that kid's pig, and all the Romans balancing omens and offerings daily. You're not sure how you'll survive another day here, let alone another ritual, but you're tougher than you thought, chanting with strangers without summoning a thunderbolt. You climb Flavia's rickety stairs, the insula's noise welcoming you like a grumpy friend, ready for whatever Rome's next challenge brings. You're climbing the creaky stairs to your insula room, the Subura's night hum drunk tavern songs, a stray dog's bark chasing you up. The superstitious buzz of Claudia's shrine ritual still clings to you, that clay hand amulet tucked in your tunic like a lucky charm you're not sure you trust. Your mouth's dry from chanting and that single dried fig, and your throat's begging for water after a day of Rome's chaos. You reach your tiny room, the straw mattress looking as inviting as a pile of rocks, and spot a clay jug on the wobbly table. You pour a cup, hoping for a clean gulp, but the water is cloudy, with a whiff of something funky, like wet sandals left in the sun. You hesitate, realizing Rome's water supply isn't the sparkling fountain you imagined. It's a gamble, and you're about to dive into the murky world of the city's filthy water woes. Spoiler: one sip might be your last, and you're not sure your time traveler stomach can handle this liquid lottery. You set the cup down, your thirst wrestling with your survival instincts, and decide to investigate. You grab the jug and head downstairs, dodging a neighbor's kid playing with a wooden top. The Subura's streets are quieter now, lit by flickering oil lamps, the air cool with a hint of river dampness. You remember passing a public fountain earlier, its stone basin carved with dolphins, and figure it's a better bet than Flavia's mystery water. You weave through alleys, the jug sloshing against your hip, and reach the fountain, where a few locals are filling jars under the moonlight. The water is flowing, but you notice a greenish tint on the basin's edge and a stray leaf floating in the stream. You're starting to get why water is a problem here. It's everywhere, thanks to Rome's aqueducts, but clean is a relative term, and you're one gulp away from a Roman stomach bug. You fill your jug, watching a woman scrub her jar with sand before dipping it in. She catches your eye and shrugs. Boil it if you're soft, she says, her tone half mocking. You nod, pretending you've got a kitchen, and realize you're in over your head. You splash some water on your face, hoping it's safer on the outside, and feel the grit of sediment against your skin. The fountain has busy kids splashing. A man rinsing a cloth, but there is a tension. Like everyone knows this water is a necessity and a risk. You're starting to understand why surviving Rome means dodging more than pickpockets or chariots. You've got to outsmart the very stuff keeping you alive. Here's the mainstream history fact. Rome's water supply, while an engineering marvel in the imperial era around 100 CE, was plagued by contamination and uneven access. You're staring at the fountain now, its trickle a far cry from the aqueduct's grandeur. Rome boasted 11 aqueducts, channeling fresh water from distant springs to feed fountains, baths, and elite homes. The system was a point of pride, with engineers like Frontinus managing its flow. But lead pipes, sediment buildup, and illegal taps by the wealthy degraded quality, especially for the poor. Public fountains were the main source for most, but water often carried dirt, algae, or worse, parasites and bacteria. You're thinking about that cloudy jug in your room, wondering if it's a one-way ticket to dysentery, and starting to respect anyone who drank this daily without keeling over. You're about to head back when you notice a man selling small clay filters, like strainers, claiming they purify fountain water. He has got a crowd, mostly women, nodding as he demonstrates, pouring water through the filter into a cup. You're skeptical, but you edge closer, curious. That S when you hit our obscure trivia for the night. Some Romans used wool or linen cloths as makeshift filters, believing they could trap evil spirits in water, not just dirt. You're watching the man now, his filter catching a few specks, and wondering if it's science or superstition. It's a quirky practice, but it shows how desperate people were for clean water, or at least the illusion of it. You're tempted to buy one, but your lack of coins and the man's shifty grin make you pass. You clutch your jug, hoping a quick boil if you can figure out how will save you. You're starting to feel the weight of this water quest, the fountain's trickle mocking your thirst. You wander away, passing a group of kids tossing pebbles into a puddle, their laughter a brief distraction. You overhear a man complaining about a clogged aqueduct pipe, saying his insula has been dry for days. It hits you, water's not just dirty, it's unreliable, especially for the Subura's poor. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Was Rome's water system a triumph of engineering or a flawed privilege? Some argue it was a marvel, supplying 1 million people with more water per capita than many modern cities. Others say it favored the elite, with private pipes and cleaner sources, while the masses drank from polluted fountains. You're holding your jug now, its contents looking like soup, and leaning toward flawed. But good luck getting scholars to agree they'd rather measure an aqueduct's gradient than admit it's both. You're back in the Subura's maze, the jug heavy in your hands, your throat still parched. You pass a tavern where a woman's pouring water from a fancy bronze urn, probably from a private pipe, and you're low-key jealous. You're tempted to sneak a sip, but the tavern keeper's glare stops you cold. You notice a street shrine, its altar dusted with offerings, and a man muttering prayers over a cup of water, like he is begging Vesta to purify it. You're struck by how water is not just a resource here, it's a gamble, a prayer, a daily test. You're starting to see why surviving Rome means mastering these small battles, even if it's just finding a drink that won't betray you. You reach Flavia's insula, the stairs groaning under your weight, and collapse in your room, the jug sloshing ominously. You stare at it, debating whether to risk a sip or wait for a miracle. The Subura noise shouts. A distant flute filters through the walls, and you're thinking about that fountain, the clay filters, and all the Romans who drank the stuff daily. You're not sure how you'll survive another day here, let alone another jug. But you're tougher than you thought, facing Rome's water woes without running for your time machine. You tuck the amulet tighter in your tunic, hoping it's got some antibacteria mojo, and brace yourself for whatever Rome's next challenge brings. You're slumped in your insula room, the clay jug of questionable fountain water mocking you from the wobbly table. The Subura's night hum tavern laughter. A creaky cart, that neighbor's eternal chicken saga seeps through the thin walls, keeping you from sleep. Your throat is still parched, but you're not brave enough to tackle that murky water, and the clay hand amulet in your tunic feels more like a placebo than protection. Dawn is breaking, painting your tiny window gray, and you're itching to escape this stuffy box. You remember the Forum, Rome's beating heart, mentioned by a bathhouse gossiper as the place where deals, debates, and dramas collide. You grab your dusty tunic, slip on your sandals, and head out, hoping for a change of pace. Spoiler: the Forum's chaotic frenzy makes the Subura look like a nap spot, and you're about to learn why diving into this crowded hub could be your Roman undoing. You hit the streets, the Subura waking up with vendors shouting about figs and a kid chasing a stray dog. The air is crisp, smelling of fresh bread and river dampness, and you follow the crowd toward the Forum, its marble temples glinting in the morning sun. You weave through alleys, dodging a cart piled with amphorae, and emerge into a sprawling plaza framed by grand buildings, basilicas, arches, and a massive temple topped with statues. The Forum is packed, a sea of togas, tunics, and baskets, with merchants hawking wares, orators ranting from platforms, and lawyers arguing cases under porticos. You're overwhelmed, your sandals sticking to the uneven stones, and the noise shouts, laughter. A trumpet's blare hits like a physical wave. You're starting to realize this place is Rome's nerve center, but it's also a madhouse, and you're one elbow away from losing your cool. You push through the crowd, nearly tripping over a basket of olives spilled by a distracted vendor. You find a spot by a fountain, its water cleaner than your jug-s but still suspect, and try to take it all in. A senator in a purple trimmed toga sweeps past, trailed by clients begging favors, while a street performer juggles torches, drawing cheers. You spot a woman selling wax tablets, her stall mobbed by scribes, and a priest muttering prayers by a small altar. The Forum is a circus of commerce, politics, and religion, and you're caught in the whirlwind, wondering how anyone keeps up. You're starting to get why you wouldn't last a day here between the crowds, the noise, and the constant hustle. You're already dreaming of Flavia's rickety mattress. Here's the mainstream history fact. The Roman Forum was the political, commercial, and religious heart of the city during the imperial era around 100 CE, a bustling hub where Rome's daily life unfolded. You're standing by the fountain now, dodging a kid chasing a wooden hoop. The Forum housed key buildings like the Senate House, Basilica Julia for law courts, and temples to gods like Jupiter and Vesta. It was where orators swayed crowds, merchants sealed deals, and emperors announced victories. Thousands passed through daily patricians, plebs, slaves, making it a microcosm of Roman society. Its open plaza was also a stage for public events, from trials to triumphs, but overcrowding and chaos were constant. You're watching a lawyer shout over the crowd, his scroll flapping, and realizing this place was Rome's pulse, but also its pressure cooker. You're starting to respect anyone who thrived here without losing their voice or their wallet. You're trying to navigate the chaos when a man in a patched tunic shoves a clay token into your hand, muttering about a grain dole sign-up. You're confused, but he has gone before you can ask, leaving you clutching the token like it's a hot potato. That S when you hit our obscure trivia for the night. Some Romans used small clay or bone tokens called tesserae as tickets for events, handouts, or even secret society meetings in the forum. You're staring at the token now, its crude wheat symbol hinting at the grain dole and wondering if it's legit or a scam. It's a quirky detail, but it shows how the forum's hustle included a whole economy of favors and frauds. You're tempted to chase the man down, but a group of senators sweeps by and you don't want to get trampled. You pocket the token, hoping it's not a curse magnet, and keep moving. You're starting to feel the forum's frenzy, like a current pulling you under. You duck under a portico where a crowd is listening to an orator rail against a new tax. His words are fire, but you notice a few listeners slipping away, muttering about bribes. The air is thick with ambition and sweat, and you're struck by how this place is Rome's soul, vibrant, messy, relentless. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Was the forum a symbol of Roman civic pride or a chaotic mess that reflected the empire's flaws? Some argue it was a triumph, a space where democracy's echoes lingered, uniting classes in shared purpose. Others say it was a disorganized free-for-all, amplifying inequality and corruption as elites dominated. You're watching a beggar dodge a senator's litter now, thinking it's probably both glory and grit, mixed like the forum's dust. But good luck getting scholars to agree. They'd rather argue over a broken column than admit it's nuanced. You're trying to find a quieter corner when a vendor offers you a skewer of grilled fish. It smells tempting despite your pulse trauma. You pass, your stomach still wary, and notice a woman nearby, her hands full of flowers, offering them to a statue of Venus. She catches your eye and smiles, tossing you a wilting petal. For love, she says, winking, and you laugh, tucking it into your tunic next to the amulet and token. You're starting to see why the forum's addictive. Every moment's a story, from tax rants to flower gifts. You're tempted to stay, drawn to the energy, but your legs ache and the crowd's pressing in like a living wall. You weave toward the edge, dodging a scribe's spilled ink and a kid's runaway hoop, the forum's chaos chasing you like a shadow. You're back in the Subura's streets, the forum's roar fading into a hum, the air cooler under the stars. Your heart's racing, the token heavy in your pocket, the pedal soft against your skin. You pass a tavern where a man's boasting about a forum deal and you're tempted to eavesdrop, but your head's spinning. You're thinking about the orator, the beggar, and all the Romans juggling this frenzy daily. You're not sure how you'll survive another day here, let alone another crowd, but you're tougher than you thought, diving into the forum without losing your sandals or your sanity. You head toward Flavia's Insula, the rooftops dark against the sky, ready for Rome's next challenge, even if it's just climbing those groaning stairs. You're trudging back to Flavia's Insula, the forum's frenetic energy still buzzing in your veins like a double shot of Roman wine. Your tunic's dusty, your sandals worn thin, and the clay token and wilted flower petal in your pocket feel like souvenirs from a chaotic dream. The Subura's night streets are alive with flickering lamps and tavern chatter, but a dull ache in your stomach, probably that cursed pulse or the stress of dodging forum crowds, has you wincing with every step. You're almost at the insula when you notice a small shop, its door open, spilling the scent of herbs and something sharp like vinegar gone rogue. A sign carved with a snake-wrapped staff hints it's a healer's den, and your aching gut convinces you to check it out. Spoiler: Roman medicine is a wild ride of bizarre remedies and risky treatments, and you're about to learn why one visit could make surviving a day in Rome feel like a miracle. You step inside, the air thick with the smell of crushed mint and boiling pitch. The shop's cramped, lined with shelves of clay jars, dried herbs, and yep, that a pickled lizard in a glass vial. A man in a stained tunic, his beard flecked with gray, looks up from grinding something green in a mortar. He introduces himself as Gaius Semiticus and sizes you up like you're a broken chariot. Stomach? He asks, not waiting for an answer before shoving a clay cup of murky liquid your way. You sniff it, catching notes of garlic and something fishy, and your gut clenches in protest. You're starting to realize this isn't a cozy doctor's office. It's a gamble with potions that might cure you or send you sprinting to a latrine. You set the cup down, stalling as Gaius rattles off remedies like he's selling market fish. You try to explain your symptoms: cramping, a bit of nausea, but Gaius waves you off, insisting it's bad humors from the forum's crowds. He points to a shelf of amulets, suggesting a bronze frog charm to ward off evil spirits, and you're torn between laughing and bolting. The shop is dim, lit by a single oil lamp, and you notice a woman in the corner, her arm bandaged, sipping a tea that smells like burnt socks. She catches your eye and shrugs, as if to say, "Welcome to the club." You're starting to get why Roman medicine's a minefield between the weird concoctions and the sketchy diagnoses. You're one sip away from regret, and you're not sure your modern immune system's up for this. Here's the mainstream history fact. Roman medicine in the imperial era, around 100 CE, blended practical techniques with superstition, heavily influenced by Greek traditions but limited by a lack of scientific understanding. You're watching Gaius now as he mixes honey into a paste, claiming it'll balance your bile. Doctors, or medici, used herbs, surgery, and diet to treat ailments. With some success, battlefield surgeons could amputate limbs, and herbs like mint eased digestion. But they believed in the four humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, black bile, thinking illness came from imbalances, often fixed with bleeding, purging, or odd diets. No anesthesia, no germ theory, and tools were rarely sterilized, making treatments risky. You're eyeing that murky cup, wondering if it's a cure or a one-way ticket to worse, and starting to respect anyone who survived a Roman doctor's care without a lawyer. You're stalling, asking Gaius about his methods, when he pulls out a small bronze tool shaped like a tiny spoon and says it's for scraping bad spirits from your stomach. You back up, your hand instinctively guarding your gut, and that's when you hit our obscure trivia for the night. Some Romans believed wearing a wolf's tooth or claw could cure digestive issues, thinking the animal's strength would bite the illness away. Gaius points to a string of teeth hanging by the door, offering one for a denarius, and you're torn between fascination and horror. It's a quirky belief, but it fits Rome's vibe. Why trust medicine when you can channel a wolf's vibe? You're tempted to grab one for the story, but your empty pouch and Gaius's eager grin make you pass. You mumble something about thinking it over, hoping to escape before he starts scraping anything. You're starting to feel the shop's weight, the herb-scented air pressing in like a warning. The bandaged woman finishes her tea, grimacing, and Gaius turns to her, prescribing a paste of garlic and pigeon dung for her wound. You wince, your stomach doing flips, and realize this isn't just bizarre, it's dangerous. This brings us to something historians are still debating. How effective was Roman medicine compared to its risks? Some argue it was advanced for its time, with herbal remedies and surgical skills saving lives, especially in military camps. Others say the reliance on superstition and unsterile practices caused more harm than good, with patients surviving despite, not because of, treatments. You're watching Gaius grind his paste now, wondering if it's medicine or medieval roulette, and leaning toward risky. But good luck getting scholars to agree they'd rather dissect a Roman scalpel than admit it's both. You're about to make your exit when Gaius insists you try a mild remedy, a sip of wine mixed with ground fennel and surprise garum. You're haunted by that fishy sauce, but Gaius's stare is relentless, so you take a tiny sip, gagging as the salty tang hits. The woman laughs, offering you a mint leaf to chase it, and you're grateful for the kindness. You're starting to see why Romans endured this: hope, desperation, or just trusting Gaius knew his stuff. You notice a kid outside, peeking through the door, clutching a clay frog like the one Gaius offered. It's a reminder that this isn't just medicine, it's faith woven into Rome's daily grind. You're tempted to stay, curious about the woman-'s story, but your stomach-'s staging a full revolt, and Flavia's insula feels like a sanctuary, even with its bugs. You slip out, thanking Gaius and promising to return alive, the night air cool against your flushed face. The Subura's streets are quiet, save for a drunk singing off-key and a cat darting across your path. Your gut's still aching, but you're not sure if it's the pulse, the wine garum nightmare, or just Rome itself. You pass a shrine, its candles burned out, and tuck the amulet tighter in your tunic, hoping it's got some anti-poison powers. You're thinking about Gaius, that pickled lizard, and all the Romans rolling the dice with their health daily. You're not sure how you'll survive another day here, let alone another remedy. But you're tougher than you thought, facing Rome's medical mishaps without fainting or fleeing. You head toward Flavia's, the stars bright above, ready for Rome's next challenge, even if it's just dodging that neighbor's kid. You're stumbling out of Gaius's herb-scented healer shop, the garum-laced remedy still burning your throat and your stomach plotting a full-scale rebellion. The Subura's night streets are cool, lit by flickering oil lamps, with a drunk off-key song and a scampering cat as your only company. Your tunic's a mess. The clay hand amulet in your pocket feels like a bad joke, and the ache from Rome's relentless chaos, dodgy water, weird medicine, forum frenzy has you longing for Flavia's lumpy mattress. You're weaving through alleys, dreaming of sleep, when you hear laughter and music, flutes, lyres, and clinking cups spilling from a grand villa tucked behind high walls. Torchlight glows through ornate gates, and a crowd of servants scurries about, carrying trays of food that smell like heaven compared to pulse. Your curiosity, that time traveler's trap, pulls you closer. Welcome to a patrician banquet where Rome's elite party like it's 99 CE, and you're about to sneak into a world of excess that LL make you question how anyone survived a night, let alone a day, in this decadent bubble. You linger by the gate, the air rich with roasted meat, honey, and something floral, maybe rose petals. The villa's courtyard is a spectacle, marble columns draped with garlands, bronze lamps casting golden light, and guests reclining on cushioned couches around low tables piled with food. You're in your grubby tunic, looking like you just crawled out of the Subura's sewers, but a distracted servant mistakes you for a hired hand and shoves a tray of figs into your arms. To the triclinium, he barks, pointing to the dining room. You're too stunned to argue, so you shuffle in, heart pounding, hoping to blend in long enough to snag a bite. The triclinium's opulent mosaics of gods on the floor, frescoes of vineyards on the walls, and guests in silk togas laughing like they own the empire. You're starting to realize this party is a whole new level of Roman crazy, lavish, loud, and a little dangerous if you get caught. You set the figs on a table, dodging a guest who's already wobbly from wine, and try to look busy. The spread's insane roast peacock, dormice glazed with honey, oysters swimming in garum, and cakes dripping with syrup. You're starving, but snatching a morsel feels riskier than facing Gaius's pigeon dung paste. A woman in a jeweled stola, her hair piled high, grabs a fig and winks at you, mistaking you for staff. You nod, praying your Subura dirt passes as rustic charm, and scan the room. Musicians strum lyres, a poet recites something about Venus, and a servant pours wine from a silver jug shaped like a leopard. You're dazzled, but also uneasy. This excess screams wealth, but the servant's tired eyes and the guest's sharp whispers hint at a darker edge. You're starting to get why you wouldn't last here. One wrong move and you're out, or worse. Here's the mainstream history fact. Elite Roman banquets, or convivia, were extravagant displays of wealth and status in the imperial era around 100 CE, showcasing the patrician class's power. You're watching a guest pop a dormouse like it's popcorn, wondering how you ended up here. These feasts, held in lavish villas, featured rare foods, imported spices, exotic meats, and entertainment like music, poetry, or dancers. Guests reclined on couches, served by slaves, and followed strict social rules, with the hostess' generosity reflecting their influence. Banquets weren't just meals, they were networking hubs where deals, marriages, and betrayals were born. You're eyeing the peacock, its feathers fanned for show, and realizing this is Rome's elite flexing food as politics, pleasure as power. You're starting to respect anyone who navigated these feasts without indigestion or a dagger in the back. You're hovering by the table, pretending to adjust the figs, when a servant hands you a wine jug to refill cups. You fumble through it, splashing a senator's toga and earning a glare, but he is too tipsy to care. That's when you catch our obscure trivia for the night. Some Roman banquets featured surprise dishes, like pastries shaped to burst open with live birds or hidden delicacies, meant to wow guests. You notice a guest slicing into a cake, half expecting sparrows to fly out, but it's just stuffed with dates. It's a quirky touch, but it shows how far elites went to impress. Food wasn't enough, it had to be theater. You're tempted to grab a date, but the senator's watching, and you don't want to test his wine-soaked temper. You pour another cup, praying you don't end up as the night's surprise. You're starting to feel the banquet's pulse, a mix of decadence and danger. The poetess now reciting a love ode, but you overhear two guests whispering about a rival's accident at last week's feast. Poison wine. Maybe. Your stomach lurches, and not just from hunger. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Were Roman banquets symbols of cultural sophistication or signs of moral decay? Some argue they were a pinnacle of Roman refinement, blending art, food, and social bonds in a unique ritual. Others say they were excessive, reflecting a society obsessed with status and indulgence, teetering toward decline. You're watching a guest demand more oysters, his slave fanning him with a peacock feather, and leaning toward decay. But good luck getting scholars to agree. They'd rather argue over a banquet menu than admit it's both. You're trying to stay low-key, refilling cups, when the host, a portly man named Quintus, claps for attention, announcing a dance performance. Slaves clear plates, and a troop of women in flowing robes twirls in, their anklets jingling. The crowd cheers, but you notice a servant, a boy no older than 10, struggling with a heavy tray, his face tight with exhaustion. You're struck by the contrast: guests gorging, slaves grinding, all under the same gilded roof. You're tempted to help the kid, but a guest snaps for more wine, and you're back to pouring, your hands shaky. You're starting to see why these banquets are a trap, not just for your cover, but for your conscience. Rome's success is dazzling, but it's built on backs you can't unsee. You slip toward the courtyard, needing air, and pass a fountain where a guestess flirting with a servant, her laughter forced. The night's warm, the stars bright, but the villa's glow feels hollow. You ditch the wine jug by a statue, hoping to sneak out before Quintus notices his staff is a Subura imposter. You're back in the Subura's alleys, the banquet's music fading, your heart racing from the thrill and guilt of it all. You're thinking about that peacock, the boy's tray, and all the Romans living this double-edged decadence. You're not sure how you'll survive another day here, let alone another feast, but you're tougher than you thought, sneaking into Rome's elite without a toga or a plan. You head toward Flavia's insula, the rooftops dark against the sky, ready for Rome's next challenge, even if it's just dodging her rent demands. You're slipping away from Quintus S. lavish villa, the echoes of lyre music and clinking wine cups fading into the Subura S. night. Your tunic is still sticky from spilled garum. The clay hand amulet in your pocket feels like a guilty souvenir, and your stomach is torn between hunger and nausea after witnessing that banquet success. The streets are quiet, lit by flickering oil lamps, with only a stray cat and a drunk mumbled song for company. You're craving Flavia Insula, even its crunchy mattress, when you hear a rhythmic thud boots on stone, metal clanking and spot a column of soldiers marching through the dawn-esque gray light. Their red cloaks and polished armor gleam, and a centurion-esque bark snaps you out of your haze. Your time-traveler curiosity, that relentless troublemaker, pulls you closer, and before you know it, a recruiter mistakes your gawking for interest and shoves you into line. Welcome to a Roman legion training march where endurance is everything, and you're about to learn why one grueling day with the army could break you faster than a Subura pickpocket. You're hustled into the column, your sandals no match for the soldier's sturdy caligy, and handed a heavy pack that feels like it's stuffed with bricks. The centurion, a grizzled man with a face like weathered leather, eyes you like you're a stray dog who wandered into camp. Keep up or get flogged, he growls, and you nod, already regretting this. The march begins, the legion moving out of the city toward a dusty training field beyond the walls. The air smells of sweat and dry earth, and the weight of the pack full of gear, rations, and a rolled cloak digs into your shoulders. You're surrounded by recruits, some barely older than teens, their faces set despite the strain. You're starting to realize this isn't a parade, it's a test of body and will, and you're one misstep from collapsing in Rome's dirt. You trudge along, the cobblestones giving way to a rutted dirt path, the sun rising to bake your back. The centurion barks orders, close ranks, ice front, and you try to match the legion's pace, your legs burning, your breath ragged. The pack straps chafe, and you're pretty sure you're carrying half of Rome's armory. You glance at a recruit next to you, his forehead slick with sweat, and he mutters, 20 miles today. Your heart sinks. 20 miles? In this heat, with this load? You're starting to get why you wouldn't last a day here. The Roman army's endurance is brutal, and you're already dreaming of Flavia's stairwell, rickety as it is. Hear us the mainstream history fact. The Roman legion was a disciplined, highly trained force in the imperial era around 100 CE, with soldiers enduring grueling marches to maintain readiness. You're stumbling along now, the centurion-esque glare keeping you moving. Legionaries, often volunteers or conscripts, carried 6,100 pounds of gear, armor, weapons, tools, and rations on marches averaging 20 miles a day, sometimes more in campaigns. Training was relentless, including long marches, combat drills, and camp building, designed to forge unbreakable discipline. Soldiers built roads, forts, and aqueducts, making the army Rome's backbone. You're feeling that weight now, your pack a cruel reminder of their strength, and realizing these marches weren't just exercise, they were survival, keeping the empire's borders secure. You're starting to respect anyone who lugged this gear without whining or deserting. You're trying to keep pace, but the dust's choking you, and a blister's forming on your heel. You notice a recruit ahead, his pack adorned with a small bronze charm shaped like a wheel, swaying with each step. You ask about it, panting, and he grunts, for fortuna. That S when you hit our obscure trivia for the night. Some legionaries carried personal talismans, like charms or miniature gods, believing they ensured safe marches or luck in battle. You're eyeing the charm now, wondering if it's helping him outmarch you, and it's a quirky glimpse into the army's softer side, tough guys leaning on luck to survive. You're tempted to borrow that amulet in your pocket for a boost, but the centurion-esque whip cracks nearby, and you focus on not tripping instead. You're starting to feel the march's toll, your muscles screaming, the sun relentless. The legion pauses by a stream, and you collapse, gulping water that tastes like dirt but feels like nectar. The centurion yells to keep moving, but you notice a recruit rubbing his knee, his face pale. A medicus, not Gaius thankfully, slaps a vinegar-soaked cloth on it, muttering about bad air. You're struck by how even the army, Romus pride, isn't immune to hardship blisters, sprains, and worse are part of the deal. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Was the Roman army's discipline its greatest strength or a source of fragility? Some argue it created an unstoppable force, with rigorous training forging loyalty and resilience. Others say the harsh regimen floggings, heavy loads pushed soldiers to breaking points, risking mutinies or desertions. You're hauling your pack now, the centurion-esque bark ringing, and leaning toward fragility. But good luck getting scholars to agree they rather analyze a legionary-esque sandal than admit it's both. You're back on the march, the training field a dusty blur of shouting recruits and clashing shields. You're assigned to a practice drill, swinging a wooden sword that's heavier than it looks, your arms jelly. A veteran, his arms scarred from some distant war, shows you a stance, chuckling at your flailing. City boy, he teases, but his nod feels like a win. You're starting to see why the army's a brotherhood pain, sweat, and bad jokes bind these guys, even if you're just a Subura imposter. You notice a kid, barely 16, lugging a pack twice his size, his grin defiant. It's a reminder that this isn't just endurance, it's pride. A chance for some to rise in Rome's rigid world. You're tempted to cheer him on, but a trumpet signals the march's end, and you collapse, grateful for the break. You're sprawled by the field, the legion setting up camp with eerie speed tents rising, ditches dug. The air's cooler, the sun dipping, but your body's a map of aches. You pass a water skin to the scarred veteran, earning a grunt of thanks, and realize you've survived barely. You're thinking about that will charm, the kid's grin, and all the soldiers marching Rome's borders daily. You're not sure how you'll survive another day here, let alone another mile, but you're tougher than you thought, keeping up with legionaries without passing out or fleeing. You head back to the Subura, the city's walls looming, ready for Rome's next challenge, even if it's just dodging Flavia's rent demands. You're limping back to the Subura, your body screaming from the legion's grueling training march, every muscle aching like you've hauled half of Rome's aqueducts. The city's walls fade into dusk, the air thick with dust and the faint whiff of the Tiber, while your pack's straps have left red welts on your shoulders. That clay hand amulet in your tunic feels like a cruel joke after surviving the centurion's whip-cracking glare. You're dreaming of Flavia's insula, even its bug-infested mattress, when you pass a bustling workshop, its open door spilling the clang of hammers and the glow of a furnace. A burly man, his arms smudged with soot, spots you and barks. You there, need work? Your empty pouch and growling stomach override your exhaustion, and before you know it, you're roped into a day of plebeian labor. Welcome to the relentless grind of a Roman worker, where toiling from dawn to dusk is a brutal test, and you're about to learn why one shift could make surviving a day in Rome feel like a marathon you didn't sign up for. You step into the workshop, a blacksmith's forge, the heat hitting you like a gladiator's punch. The air's heavy with charcoal smoke and molten iron, and the floor's littered with slag and tools. The man, named Marcus, hands you a leather apron and points to a pile of raw iron bars. Shape those, he grunts, gesturing to an anvil where another worker, a wiry teen named Lucius, hammers a glowing rod. You're no blacksmith, but Marcus doesn't take care Flavia's rent looms, and you need coin. You grab a hammer, its weight pulling at your March-sore arms, and start pounding, the iron resisting like it's personally offended. The clang is deafening, your hands blistering, and Lucius smirks, muttering, "City softy." You're starting to realize this job's no-joke hours of backbreaking labor in a sweltering forge, and you're already counting the minutes until collapse. You settle into the rhythm, or try to, the hammer's thud syncing with your heartbeat. Marcus barks orders faster, straighter, don't ruin the metal, while Lucius shows you how to heat the iron until it glows cherry red. The forge's heat is relentless, your tunic soaked, and the smoke stings your eyes. You're surrounded by workers, some forging nails, others sharpening blades, each moving with a grim focus. You're starting to get why this grind is brutal, not just the physical toll, but the monotony, the pressure to produce, and the knowledge that one bad day could mean no pay. You're tempted to quit, but Marcus's glare and the memory of Flavia's rent keep you swinging, even as your blisters pop and your arms scream. Here's the mainstream history fact. Plebeian labor was the backbone of Rome's economy in the imperial era around 100 CE, with most of the city's population toiling in grueling jobs to survive. You're hammering iron now, sweat dripping onto the anvil. Common workers, blacksmiths, bakers, weavers, porters worked long hours in workshops, markets, or construction sites, often for meager wages. Many were free citizens or freedmen, but conditions were harsh, with little job security or safety. Urban plebs relied on the grain dole and side hustles to scrape by, while rural workers faced even tougher lives. You're feeling the forge's heat now, realizing this labor-fueled Rome's grandeur, its swords, tools, and buildings, but at a cost to bodies and dreams. You're starting to respect anyone who clocked in daily without breaking or bolting. You're struggling to keep up, your hammer strokes sloppy, when Lucius tosses you a rag to wipe your face. He points to a small clay figure on a shelf, a crude hammer shape, dusted with soot. For Vulcan, he says, nodding at the forge god. That S when you hit our obscure trivia for the night. Some Roman workers offered tiny tool-shaped votives to deities like Vulcan or Minerva, believing they bless their craft or prevent accidents. You're eyeing the hammer figure now, wondering if it's keeping Lucius's iron straight, and it's a quirky glimpse into the workshop's soul, hard labor mixed with hope. You're tempted to pray to Vulcan yourself, but Marcus snaps at you to focus, and you swing the hammer, hoping your next hit doesn't spark a divine smite. You're starting to feel the workshop's grind, the heat and noise pressing in like a living thing. You notice a woman across the room, her hands scarred, shaping nails with a precision you'll never match. She catches your eye and nods, a small gesture that feels like solidarity. You overhear Marcus grumbling about a delayed iron shipment, saying it cost him a week's profit. It hits you workers like you aren't just fighting exhaustion there at the mercy of supply chains, bosses, and Rome's ruthless economy. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Was plebeian labor a stabilizing force for Rome or a source of unrest? Some argue it sustained the empire, with workers' output driving trade and growth. Others say the harsh conditions, low pay, long hours fueled resentment, sparking riots or strikes. You're pounding iron now, your blisters bleeding, and leaning toward unrest. But good luck getting scholars to agree. They rather argue over a worker's wage slip than admit it's both. You're halfway through the shift, your arms noodles, when Marcus calls a break. You collapse by a water barrel, gulping a ladleful that tastes like ash but soothes your throat. Lucius joins you, sharing a crust of bread, and you tear into it, grateful despite the grit. He tells you he is saving for a better shop, maybe his own forge someday, and his quiet ambition cuts through the smoke. You're struck by how these workers aren't just cogs, they're dreamers, grinding for a sliver of Rome's promise. You notice a kid, maybe 12, sweeping slag, his face smudged but focused. It's a reminder that this grind isn't just today, it's a lifetime for some. You're tempted to stay, drawn to the camaraderie, but your body is begging for mercy, and Marcus' shout signals the break is over. You drag yourself back to the anvil, the hammer heavier with every swing. The sun is high now, streaming through the door, and the workshop is a blur of sparks and sweat. You're thinking about Lucius' bread, that clay hammer, and all the Romans toiling in forges, fields, and markets daily. You're not sure how you'll survive another hour here, let alone another day, but you're tougher than you thought, hammering iron without fainting or fleeing. You finish a bar, crooked but passable, and Marcus grunts approval, tossing you a bronze coin. You pocket it, the weight a small victory, and head out as the shift ends. The Subura's dusk welcoming you like a weary friend, ready for Rome's next challenge, even if it's just climbing Flavia's stairs. You're stumbling out of Marcus's blacksmith forge, your arms throbbing from hammering iron, your hands blistered, and your tunic soaked with sweat and soot. The Subura's dusk wraps around you, the air cool with the scent of the Tiber and fresh baked bread from a nearby stall. That bronze coin in your pocket, your hard-earned wage, feels like a tiny triumph, but Flavia's rent looms, and your body's begging for rest. You're halfway to the insula when your stomach, still scarred from Puls and Gaius's garum nightmare, twists with an urgent need. You realize, with a mix of dread and resignation, that your insula room's clay pot isn't an option. You need a proper facility and fast. You spot a sign, a crude carving of a sponge stick, pointing to a public latrine down an alley. Your time traveler instincts scream abort mission, but nature's calling louder. Welcome to the awkward, unhygienic world of Roman public latrines, where one visit could make surviving a day in Rome feel like a heroic feat or a health hazard. You hurry down the alley, the coin bouncing in your pocket, the clay hand amulet still tucked in your tunic like a useless talisman. The latrine's entrance is unassuming, a low stone building with a tiled roof, but the smell hits you first, a mix of ammonia, damp stone, and something you'd rather not name. You step inside, the air clammy, and find a dimly lit room with a long marble bench perforated with evenly spaced holes. Men sit shoulder to shoulder, chatting like it's a tavern, while a small channel of water runs beneath, carrying away waste. You freeze, your modern sensibilities screaming, but a grizzled man in a worn tunic waves you over, pointing to an empty spot. New here? He chuckles, noticing your panic. You nod, clutching your tunic, and slide onto the bench, trying to ignore the communal vibe and the sponge stick, a shared cleaning tool resting in a bucket nearby. You're starting to realize this place is less restroom and more social experiment, and you're one splash away from bolting. You settle in, or try to, the cold marble a shock against your skin. The latrine's busy merchants discussing grain prices, a young guy joking about a bad date, an old man muttering prayers to Cloacina, the sewer goddess. The water's trickle is constant, but it's not exactly flushing, and the sponge stick's communal nature makes your stomach lurch harder than the forge's heat. You're trying to focus on anything else, the flickering oil lamp, the graffiti scratched into the wall, but the guy next to you offers you the sponge, and you mumble a refusal, earning a laugh. You're starting to get why this is perilous, not just the hygiene or lack thereof, but the sheer awkwardness of Rome's open-air approach to private needs. You're already dreaming of Flavia's insula, bugs and all. Here's the mainstream history fact. Public latrines were a common feature of ancient Rome around 100 CE, reflecting the city's advanced sanitation infrastructure but also its hygiene limits. You're sitting on the marble bench now, trying not to breathe too deeply. Latrines, often built near baths or forums, could seat dozens, with running water from aqueducts flushing waste into the cloaca maxima, Rome's main sewer. They were social hubs, especially for men, where deals and gossip flowed as freely as the water. But sanitation was spotty sponge sticks, shared and rinsed in salty water, spread germs, and sewers sometimes backed up, especially in poor areas like the Subura. You're eyeing the channel now, wondering what's floating in it, and realizing these latrines were a marvel of engineering but a gamble for health. You're starting to respect anyone who used these daily without a hazmat suit or a meltdown. You're trying to wrap things up, keeping your eyes on the graffiti, a crude joke about a senator, when you notice a small clay figurine on a ledge, shaped like a fish. The grizzled man, who introduces himself as Titus, says it's an offering to Cloacina for smooth passage. That S when you hit our obscure trivia for the night. Some Romans left tiny votives or tossed coins into latrines, believing they appeased sewer spirits or ensured good digestion. You're staring at the fish now, wondering if it's working for Titus, and it's a quirky peek into Rome's spiritual side. Even toilets had divine oversight. You're tempted to toss your bronze coin for luck, but Flavia's rent says no, and the sponge stick's proximity makes you rethink divine intervention. You mutter a quick prayer to nobody in particular and focus on escaping unscathed. You're starting to feel the latrine's weight, the damp air and casual chatter pressing in like a bad dream. Titus tells you about a friend who got sick after using a cursed latrine, and your skin crawls germs, spirits, or just bad garum. You're not taking chances. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Were Roman latrines a public health advance or a sanitary disaster? Some argue they were a triumph, with running water and sewers surpassing other ancient cities, improving urban hygiene. Others say the shared tools, stagnant water, and overcrowding bred diseases, from dysentery to parasites. You're gripping the bench now, wondering if you're sitting on a plague, and leaning toward disaster. But good luck getting scholars to agree they'd rather excavate a sewer pipe than admit it's both. You're finally done, avoiding the sponge stick like it's a gladiator's sword, and splash your hands in a bucket of water that's barely cleaner than the channel. Titus chuckles, offering you a sprig of mint to freshen up, and you take it, grateful for the gesture. You're struck by how normal this feels to them, laughing, praying, doing business in a place you'd rather forget. You notice a kid outside, selling clay fish charms like the one on the ledge, his grin infectious. It's a reminder that latrines aren't just pits, they're part of Rome's rhythm, awkward but human. You're tempted to stay, curious about Titus's stories, but your stomach's settled for now, and Flavia's insula calls. You slip out the alley's cool air relief and head back to the Subura, the mint sprig in your hand, a small victory. You're back in the streets, the latrine's stench fading, the stars bright above the rooftops. Your heart's racing, the bronze coin heavy in your pocket, the amulet a quiet comfort. You pass a tavern where a man's complaining about a clogged sewer, and you're tempted to share your tale, but your nerves are frayed. You're thinking about Titus, that fish charm, and all the Romans braving these latrines daily. You're not sure how you'll survive another day here, let alone another bathroom break, but you're tougher than you thought, facing Rome's hygiene horrors without fainting or fleeing. You climb Flavia's groaning stairs, the insula's noise a familiar grumble, ready for Rome's next challenge, even if it's just dodging that neighbor's kid. You're climbing Flavia's rickety insula stairs, the public latrine's stench still clinging to your tunic like a bad memory. Your legs ache from the day's grind, forge work, forum chaos, and that nerve-wracking sponge stick encounter, and the mint sprig Titus gave you is a wilted lifeline in your hand. The Subura night hums outside, a mix of tavern laughter and distant cart creaks, but your stomach's finally calm and your bronze coin, that hard-earned forge wage, jingles faintly in your pocket. You're dreaming of your straw mattress, bugs be damned, when you realize you forgot to grab water for the night. That cloudy jug in your room's a no-go and the fountain's your only shot. You sigh, tuck the clay hand amulet deeper into your tunic and head back into the Subura streets, now cloaked in darkness. Spoiler: Rome after dark is a crime-filled gauntlet, and you're about to learn why surviving one night could be the toughest challenge yet in a city that never sleeps but definitely stabs. You step into the alley, the moonlight barely piercing the Subura's maze of mud-brick tenements. The air's cool, smelling of damp stone and stale garum, but the streets feel different, quieter, yet tense, like a bowstring pulled tight. Oil lamps flicker at corners, casting shaky shadows, and most stalls are shuttered, their vendors long gone. You clutch your coin, the amulet a small comfort, and head toward the dolphin-carved fountain you visited before. The Subura's not empty, though shadowy figures lurk in doorways, and a burst of laughter from a tavern cuts the silence. You hear a scuffle nearby, a muffled curse, and your heart picks up. You're starting to realize these streets are a predator's playground, and you're looking like easy prey in your dusty tunic and blistered sandals. You quicken your pace, sticking to the lamplit paths, but the fountain's a few alleys away, and every turn feels like a gamble. You pass a group of men rolling dice by a wall, their eyes flicking to you, and you keep your head down, avoiding their gaze. A woman in a tattered shawl hisses from a corner, offering protection for a coin, and you mutter a refusal, hoping she's not signaling a gang. You're starting to get why night streets are dangerous, not just the darkness, but the unseen threats, from thieves to worse, lurking in every shadow. You grip the mint sprig like it's a weapon, wishing you'd stayed in the insula even with its snoring neighbors and questionable water. Here's the mainstream history fact: Rome's streets were notoriously unsafe at night during the imperial era around 100 CE, with crime thriving in the absence of a formal police force. You're dodging a puddle now, the fountain's trickle faint in the distance. The city relied on the vigilas, a night watch doubling as firefighters, but their patrols were patchy, especially in rough areas like the Subura. Robbery, assault, and even murder were common, targeting the unwary travelers, drunks, or anyone flashing wealth. Elites used bodyguards or litters, but plebs like you walked at their own risk, with no streetlights or organized law enforcement. You're thinking about those dice rollers, wondering if they're sizing you up, and realizing safety was a luxury in Rome's urban jungle. You're starting to respect anyone who ventured out after dark without a sword or a death wish. You're almost at the fountain when you hear footsteps behind you, soft but deliberate. You glance back, catching a glimpse of a cloaked figure ducking into an alley, and your pulse spikes. You're not sure if it's a thief or just a late-night wanderer, but you're not sticking around to find out. You hurry forward, nearly tripping over a stray cat, and reach the fountain, its water glinting under a lone lamp. You fill your jug, the cold splash a relief, but your nerves are frayed. That's when you hit our obscure trivia for the night. Some Romans carried small bronze bells, tied to belts or bags, believing their jingle warded off evil spirits or alerted others to their presence, deterring thieves. You're clutching your jug now, wishing you had a bell to scare off that cloaked creep, and it's a quirky nod to Rome's mix of practicality and superstition. You're tempted to jingle your coin for effect, but that'd probably invite more trouble, so you keep quiet and scan the shadows. You're starting to feel the night's weight, the darkness pressing in like a living thing. You're about to head back when a vigilance patrol marches by, their torches casting long beams. You breathe easier, but they barely glance at you, focused on a tavern brawl spilling into the street. You overhear a man nearby, his arm bandaged, complaining about a knife fight that cost him a week's wages. It hits you: crime isn't just a risk, it's a fact of life, shaping how Romans move, live, even sleep. This brings us to something historians are still debating: was Rome's night crime a sign of urban decay or just a manageable byproduct of its size? Some argue it showed a failing system with overstretched vigiles and unchecked poverty fueling lawlessness. Others say it was typical for a million-person city with crime no worse than other ancient hubs kept in check by community vigilance. You're gripping your jug now, the cloaked figure's shadow lingering in your mind and leaning toward decay. But good luck getting scholars to agree they'd rather argue over a stolen amphora than admit it's both. You're ready to bolt, the fountain's trickle fading as you retrace your steps. You pass a street shrine, its candles burned out, and a woman sweeping her doorstep, her eyes wary but kind. She nods, muttering, "Stay sharp," and you nod back, grateful for the warning. You're struck by how Romans survived the small gestures, quick wits, maybe a bell or two. You notice a kid, maybe 10, darting through an alley, probably a lookout for a gang, his grin sharp as a blade. It's a reminder that these streets aren't just dangerous, they're alive, a web of risk and resilience. You're tempted to linger, curious about the woman's story, but your jug's heavy, and Flavia's insula feels like a fortress even with its bugs. You weave through the alleys, avoiding dark corners, the Subura's pulse steady under the stars. You reach Flavia's building, the stairs groaning louder than your joints, and collapse in your room, the jug sloshing safely on the table. Your heart's still racing, the coin and amulet heavy in your pocket, the mint sprig now a crushed relic. The Subura's noise shouts, a distant flute filters through the walls, and you're thinking about that cloaked figure, the vigiles, and all the Romans braving these streets nightly. You're not sure how you'll survive another day here, let alone another midnight errand, but you're tougher than you thought, dodging Rome's dangers without losing your jug or your nerve. You close your eyes, the lamp's flicker fading, ready for Rome's next challenge, even if it's just facing Flavia's rent demands. You're sprawled in your insular room, the clay jug of fountain water on the table glinting faintly in the oil lamp's glow. The Subura's night hum tavern songs, a creaky cart, a neighbor's muffled snore seeps through the thin walls, a familiar chaos after your harrowing dash through Rome's crime-filled streets. Your tunic's a wreck, your sandals barely holding together, and the bronze coin, clay hand amulet, and crushed mint sprig in your pocket feel like trophies from a battle you didn't expect to survive. Your body aches from the forge, the march, the forum's frenzy, and your mind's reeling from latrines, banquets, and gladiators. You're exhausted, but sleep's a distant dream. You're too wired, replaying a day that tested every ounce of your grit. Now, as dawn's gray light creeps through your tiny window, it's time to step back and reflect on Rome's chaotic, enduring legacy, a city that shaped the world but would chewed you up in a heartbeat. Settle in, because this is the grand finale and it's got more heart than a Subura street fight. You lean back on the straw mattress, its crunch a reminder of your Subura struggles, and stare at the cracked ceiling, tracing the city's pulse in your mind. You've dodged pickpockets, choked down pulse, and survived the latrine's sponge stick, each moment a glimpse into Rome's raw, relentless spirit. This wasn't the marble and toga Rome of history books, it was a gritty, sweaty, glorious mess where every day was a gamble for plebs, slaves, and even patricians. You're thinking about Titus's mint sprig, Lucius's forged dreams, and that humming slave woman's defiance, their lives weaving a tapestry that outlasted emperors. Rome wasn't just a city, it was a force, its echoes rippling through time, from aqueducts to laws to the very idea of empire. You're starting to see why surviving here, even for a day, was a feat worth celebrating. You sit up, the lamp's flicker casting shadows like ghosts of Rome's past. You picture the forum's roar, the circus maximus's dust, the basilica's whispered plots, each a thread in a legacy that shaped cities, governments, even the roads you walk today. You're not just a time traveler, you're a witness to a world that built the bones of the West, for better or worse. The Subura's noise fades, and you imagine Rome's reach, its legions marching to Britannia, its aqueducts feeding distant towns, its laws etched into stone. You're holding that bronze coin now, its worn edge a link to countless hands, and you're struck by how the city's chaos fueled its greatness. You're ready to reflect on why Rome endures and why its lessons resilience, ambition, fragility still matter even if you'd rather face a modern traffic jam than another Subura alley. Here's the mainstream history fact. Ancient Rome's legacy, peaking in the imperial era around 100 CE, profoundly shaped Western civilization, leaving enduring marks on law, architecture, language, and governance. You're tracing the coin's edge now, thinking of Rome's reach. Its legal system, codified in the 12 tables and later laws, influenced modern constitutions. Aqueducts, roads, and concrete revolutionized urban life, while Latin birthed Romance languages and English's roots. The Senate's structure inspired parliaments, and Rome's urban model forums, baths, theaters set a template for cities. Even its fall, centuries later, taught lessons about overreach and decay. You're picturing the Forum's marble still standing in ruins and realizing Rome wasn't just a city, it was a blueprint, its echoes in every courthouse, bridge, and word you speak. You're starting to respect how a chaotic Subura day fueled a legacy that outlasted its fires and floods. You're mulling this over when you remember a moment from the Forum, a vendor's clay token etched with a wheat symbol, a tiny piece of Rome's vast trade network. That's when you hit our obscure trivia for the night. Some Romans used miniature clay models of buildings or ships as votive offerings, believing they'd ensure prosperity for Rome's empire, from ports to temples. You're picturing the token now, wondering if it carried a merchant's hope for safe trade routes, and it's a quirky glimpse into Rome's faith in its own permanence. These models, found in archaeological digs, show how Romans saw their city as eternal even as they dodged thieves or ate dodgy puls. You're tempted to etch your own token, maybe a tiny insula, but your blisters say no, and the Subura's dawn light pulls you back to reality. You're starting to feel Rome's weight, not just its chaos but its permanence, like a stone carved deep. You think of Claudia's shrine, Quintus's banquet, the legion's march, each a moment that built an empire, flaws and all. You're struck by how Rome's legacy isn't just marble or laws its people, from slaves to senators, grinding through days like yours to keep the city alive. This brings us to something historians are still debating. Was Rome's enduring influence due to its innovation or its ability to absorb and adapt? Some argue its genius lay in engineering and law, creating systems that outlasted empires. Others say its strength was cultural flexibility, blending Greek, Etruscan, and barbarian ideas into a resilient whole. You're holding the coin now, its worn face a mix of Roman pride and borrowed styles and leaning toward adaptation. But good luck getting scholars to agree. They rather argue over a mosaic fragment than admit it's both. You stand, stretching your aching legs, and step to the window, the Subura's rooftops a jagged silhouette against the dawn. You're thinking about Marcus's forge, the latrines' chatter, and all the Romans who made the city hum, their lives echoing in every law, road, and ruin. You've survived a day barely through streets, baths, and backstabbing, each moment a testament to Rome's brutal, brilliant spirit. You're not sure how they did it daily, but you're tougher than you thought, carrying their echoes in your blistered hands and weary heart. You're ready to leave this insula, but for now you linger, the city's pulse syncing with yours, its legacy a quiet hum under the stars. You're standing by the window, the Subura's dawn soft as a whisper, its rooftops fading into a golden haze. The oil lamp's glow dims, casting gentle shadows that dance like Rome's ghosts, Lucius's hammer, Claudia's barley, the legion's steady march. Your coin rests heavy in your hand, a small anchor to a world that shaped yours, its edges worn smooth by countless dreams. The Tiber hums, a lullaby older than empires, carrying away the day's chaos, fountains, forums, fleeting fears. You feel it slip, not gone, but softening, like sand through your fingers, blending into a dream where aqueducts gleam and stars sing Latin. Your breath slows, matching the city's quiet pulse, and you imagine drifting on the Tiber, a reed boat rocking you toward sleep. Let Rome hold you, its echoes warm as sunlight, its stories soft as dusk. Sleep now, carried by a city that endures, gentle as a sigh, eternal as the night.